Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to show you one of the models from Ryobi's One Plus range, the R18JS jigsaw. But I won't say any more for now. Let's check it out in the next segment. See you in a moment. So here is the jigsaw in question, the Ryobi R18JS, a tool that's compatible with all the batteries from Ryobi's One Plus range. That means if you already own batteries from the same range, you can use them with this tool as well. As for the motor, it's a standard brushed motor, which means you don't get the improvements that come with a brushless motor, especially the better battery life management. When it comes to handling, this is still a fairly heavy tool, since it weighs just under a kilo, specifically 1.995 kilograms. So that's of course the weight of the tool without the battery. As for the handle, it has a grip that works well and provides a good hold. Here we have the trigger that lets you start up the tool. There you go, with a response that's a bit slower compared to what you see on the latest tools on the market today. And here, there's a small lock button that lets you lock the trigger in place when you want to make cuts without having to constantly hold down the trigger. And then up here on top, there's a speed control dial that lets you adjust the speed even while cutting, which helps you better adapt to the type of cut you want to make. Continuing with the speed control, you should know that you can adjust the amplitude of the pendulum movement with 4 settings. Of course, position 0 is without any pendulum movement, and up to position 3, which lets you adjust this movement depending on your specific needs. And here, on top, actually on top of the pendulum movement control, you have the different indicators depending on the type of cut you want to make. So, for example, here, to cut metal, you would generally set it to position 0, and to cut fairly thick wood in a straight cut, you would set it to position 3. And as for adjusting the base plate, for example, to make angled cuts, you have 2 screws here, 2 clamps, along with an Allen key that's provided. This will let you loosen these 2 fixing screws and adjust the angle of the base plate, for example, to plus 45 or minus 45 degrees, depending on your needs. So it's not necessarily the most convenient or efficient mechanism, but it works very well and will let you make your adjustments without any trouble. And installing a new blade is nothing complicated. You just press here on the lever, put the blade in position, make sure it's properly secured to the machine. You see, like this, there's no difficulty. It can be done really easily without any tools. And to remove it, you just have to press the lever again. As you saw, the blade is literally ejected. Before we see a demonstration of this jigsaw, let's talk a bit about its features. Earlier, I mentioned that it's powered by an 18-volt battery. We also talked about the variable speed control, which lets you adjust the blade speed as needed, ranging from 1,100 revolutions per minute up to 3,000 revolutions per minute, which are pretty reasonable values for this type of machine. And as for the stroke length, it's 25 millimeters, which allows this jigsaw to cut through wood up to 101 millimeters thick and up to 6 millimeters in metal. As for the accessories included with this machine, keep in mind that the brand mainly sells this jigsaw without a battery or charger, but you will still get a blade that's mainly intended for straight cuts in wood. That way, you can get started quickly, especially if you already have batteries from the OnePlus range. Now let's see how this machine performs in action, starting with cutting a piece of MDF board. As for the speed, I immediately set it to maximum. For the pendulum action, I kept it at 0. And of course, I used a blade suited to the material. Let's see right away how it performs. As you can see, a quick, clean, and efficient cut. Now, let's see how it goes with a slightly thicker piece, since we're working with something about 6 centimeters thick, maybe even 6 or 7, and we'll see right away how it performs with these settings. I haven't changed anything. Of course, I did switch to a longer blade, at least long enough to cut through this type of material and especially this thickness. There you go. As you can see, it obviously takes a bit longer given the thickness of our piece of wood, but in the end, the cut is really clean, without too much trouble. You see, it actually goes pretty smoothly too. As you saw, it's a pretty efficient machine, even though, let's be honest, it's still Ryobi's entry-level model, since Ryobi's range of jigsaws is quite broad. It actually includes much more recent machines with brushless motors, because as I mentioned earlier, this machine is equipped with a brushed motor. So as a result, it doesn't have the advantages of a brushless motor, but that allows it to be offered at a really attractive price. As for performance, it's completely on par with other models you can find on the market, especially with a stroke speed, actually a stroke rate, of 3,000 strokes per minute and a stroke length of 25 millimeters. In terms of handling, it's actually pretty good, even though personally I would have preferred a lever system to change the orientation of the base plate so you could make, for example, angled cuts. That's more of a feature you find on newer models, and especially on those that are a bit more high-end. So obviously with this type of entry-level model, you don't necessarily get that system, but once again, just like with the carbon motor, it allows them to offer this machine at a pretty competitive price. By the way, when it comes to price, you should know that this machine is usually sold bare, meaning without a battery or charger, for 90 euros. It's a pretty attractive price for this type of machine, considering its performance. As always, if you're interested in this machine, feel free to check the description. I'll include links to the best sellers, at least those offering this jigsaw at the best price. This video is now coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't hesitate to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And in any case, I'll see you very soon for a new video. See ya!